The season of good cheer can be as grim as it is merry. It's a time of crowded stores, a hectic pace, and maybe even a bit of loneliness. Sometimes a heartwarming holiday flick just doesn't fit the mood. The antidote? A generous helping of holiday-flavored noir and mystery. Check out these films that view the holiday season with a bit of an edge. 1950's Backfire is an underseen but entertaining holiday noir. While recovering from a back injury in a hospital one Christmas Eve, World War II veteran Bob Corey, played by Gordon McCrae, is visited by a beautiful stranger. Fuzzy-headed with drugs, he struggles to understand her message of panic. The next morning, he only remembers that he has been warned his wartime buddy and future business partner, Steve Connolly, played by Edmund O'Brien, is in trouble. Corey has fallen in love with anti-femme fatale Virginia Mayo, his capable nurse, Julie Benson, while under her care. With visions of matrimony in their heads, they team up to learn the identity of the mysterious woman, who is played with dreamy allure by Vivica Lindfors, so they can save Steve. What follows is a satisfyingly twisty mystery with plenty of surprises and lots of suspense. More famous for starring in musicals, McCrae fits his uncharacteristically dark role well. Dane Clark is also magnetic as a former army buddy of Corey and Connolly. And Ed Begley hits the right cynical note as a police captain who has the air of a guy who has seen it all and wants a refund. They Live by Night from 1948 stars Farley Granger as Bowie, a young man who has just escaped from prison with the trio, including gang leader Chickamauga, played by Howard Da Silva. Wrongly convicted of murder, all he wants to do is find a lawyer to clear his name. The gang hides out at a gas station owned by Chickamauga's alcoholic brother and run by his niece Kichi, played by Kathy O'Donnell. Kichi resents her uncle and the convicts, but she and Bowie are quickly drawn to each other. Chickamauga has no intention of losing a getaway driver he can trust like Bowie. Soon, the trio has robbed another bank. Bowie and Kichi go on the run from Chickamauga and the law. They marry and delight in a new and intoxicating kind of love. It's Christmas time, so they buy a tree and decorate it with sparkling ornaments and become lost in the spirit of the season, which has allowed them to set aside the danger of their reality. While their love is powerful, their escape is short-lived. Chickamauga finds them and insists Bowie pull another job. Clearly envious of the happy domestic setting, he idly flicks at the ornaments, breaking them. The message? Christmas has been canceled by order of Chickamauga. Though singing star Deanna Durbin was charming, modern audiences have come to believe her films were saccharine bits of fluff. And that isn't so. She could be a kitten, but she also had claws. So she come as no surprise that she is at her most appealing in what may be the only big studio crime drama, film, noir, musical romance, 1945's Lady on a Train. As mystery novel fan Nikki Collins, she witnesses a murder through the window of her train compartment. Determined to find the killer, and secretly thrilled to play detective herself, she recruits Wayne Morgan, played by David Bruce, her favorite pulp crime novelist, to help her. Morgan isn't as hard-boiled as his characters, but he finds the determined Miss Collins impossible to deny. And Durbin's fearlessness inspires him to put his talent for plots and intrigue to a greater purpose. Durbin seems to enjoy playing detective as she falls deeper into danger. She also has a chance to be more sultry than usual in a pair of musical numbers. Christmas plays a calming role in this flick. Alone in a hotel room for Christmas Eve, Durbin calls her father and sings Silent Night for him. Her peaceful, pure rendition of the song is the calm in the eye of the storm. A man who has been sent to steal evidence from her listens, enchanted. Everything stands still when Durbin sings. Christmas Holiday came out in 1944, before Lady on a Train, and features a more seriously noirish Durbin. A newly jilted army officer played by stage actor Dean Herons is introduced to bar hostess and chanteuse, the incognito Abigail, who goes by Jackie. She's also nursing a broken heart. She tells the story of her charming, violent husband, played by Gene Kelly, who is in prison for murder. What starts as a tender romance, encouraged by Gail Sondergaard as Kelly's mother, turns into a nightmare from which Abigail must escape. You'd think audiences wouldn't like seeing Songbird Durbin in such a downbeat role, or Kelly as a violent criminal, but the film did well, despite being one of the bleakest noirs of the period. Durbin has a couple of opportunities to sing, but for the most part, this was one of Universal's attempts to expand the actress's horizons. Durbin and Kelly work well against type, though Durbin would never try drama again. In the end, as downbeat as the film is, it is a moving story about learning to let go and leaving the past behind. Filmed undercover on the busy streets of New York, the 1961 noir blast of silence taps into the bleakness of the holiday season for those who exist outside of its cozy togetherness. Director and writer Alan Barron stars as Frank Bono, a killer for hire, who comes to the uncomfortable realization that he's tired of being alone. The product of an orphanage, where he appears to have been treated well, but not loved, he's without attachments and perfectly suited for his profession. Bono becomes hopeful when he's reacquainted with Laurie, the sister of an old orphanage chum, at a Christmas party. But he mistakes her kindness for attraction and suffers because of it. Barron is perfect as a damaged Bono. He's hard and cynical, but has received just enough kindness from the nuns who raised him to have a tiny and growing yearning for companionship. When his professional reserve is cracked, he realizes how ill-equipped he is for normal human interaction. Blast of Silence has added meaning today as a fascinating document of mid-century New York City streets dressed up for Christmas. The cheerfulness of the settings is a stark contrast to Bono's dismay. Lady in the Lake from 1947 is overwhelmed by its gimmick, first-person camera. Director star Robert Montgomery is clearly thrilled by the format, but it is, for the most part, an awkward idea. Still, there are plenty of wreaths and even a heavenly choir on the soundtrack, and while it can alternate between being amusing and tedious, this movie is a good companion for gift wrapping. Montgomery is Private Dick Philip Marlowe, and he has submitted a story to a crime magazine. His famous name, not to mention the gumshoe's facility with a tricky plot, attracts the attention of the publication's editor, Adrienne Fromset, played by Audrey Totter. But because she wants to hire him, but the plot isn't complicated, it's easy to get lost in the absurdity of the production. Actors uneasily playing to the camera, multiple mirror shots, because of course Montgomery isn't gonna star in a film and not be seen. Audrey Totter heroically manages to pull off a charismatic performance, despite it all. Lloyd Nolan has less luck. He takes a swipe at the camera. Twice. But keeps standing there and gets belted. And he doesn't learn his lesson. And poor Audrey, she has to make out with the camera. Happy holidays, Miss Totter. Thank you for your service.
I was making you... Cut it out, Sycamore. Father, then I'm coming back.